All right, a little bent rowing today. I touched on that one for a little bit, and some other upper body strength, mobility, core stuff, and a new kettlebell movement to learn, though it'll be pretty easy based on other stuff we've done. It'll just be a little bit of a progression, basically putting two things you already know how to do together. So let's start off. If you have a dowel or PVC pipe, we're going to use that in our warm up to start off the back today. All right, so let's, and the first thing we'll do is just your classic everyday pass through, but remembering on the pass through that we want to keep the shoulders shrugged up as we go through, back as we come around to the back. We're trying to lengthen through the shoulder. Think about this kind of being a little bit like shoulder circles that we would do, except now in kind of a front to back manner. And then we'll pop the stick behind, palms facing forward. And same idea, shrug here, and we'll just work the full range of motion, front to back. As you come around the front, keep the shoulders pinched back, try not to let them roll forward. So this movement will show back up later on in the workout, but in a different way. So this is the reverse grip pass through. Okay, and then go ahead and hold that front position. And now from here, we'll do our neck circles. So drop the chin. 2 neck circles, and surprisingly, they're a little smaller than they normally are. That feels good though. After you've done the 2, bring the stick back around. And I'm going to set the stick aside for the time being. And now arms out front, or let's actually do the 45-degree angle, just some regular shoulder circles. Go ahead and do about 5 each direction. It's warm in a hurry there, it doesn't take much. And then we're gonna do a little funky chicken one here. So arms out to the side, imagine you're hanging on to 2 ropes. And we're gonna roll one shoulder up and over while turning the other palm up. So you're reaching back to the center, other shoulder up and over, reach. Imagine you're a washcloth and you're wringing out, you're stretching, out getting long. Okay, and then we'll go overhead, fingers interlace, reach for the sky, get a nice shrug. Tuck your ribs down, so no back arch, and we're bending to the side. A lot of side bending in today. About 3 per side. And finally, we'll finish the upper body with 2 shoulder circles, shoulder cars. Clunk. And then warm the hips up a bit. First we do standing good morning. So normal stance you would deadlift or do anything like that from. Back staying straight, we're just hinging over, keeping the back straight. Knees just slightly bent on these. 10 of these. 7, I think. 8, 9, 10. Now we'll go to a wider stance, not crazy wide, but maybe the horse stance position we've worked from, and we'll do just 5 here. Same thing though, keep the back straight. 4, 5, last thing, we'll go into a slightly split stance now. Front leg is going to stay locked out, back leg can bend a bit, and we're going to do that same hinge from here, but nice and slow. This will shorten your range. And keep the back straight, no back bending, should get a strong stretch on the front leg side. 5, switch your stance. Lock the front leg. Another tip, keep the back flat, don't rotate out away from the stretch. Keep your sternum lined up with your big toe. All right, we will move on into the next part from there. So bent rows, one we haven't touched on in a little while. Barbell folks, we're gonna work 5 by 5. If you've got dumbbells or kettlebells, depending on the weights you have available, I put a kind of a wider range of reps in there. So it could be anywhere between 5 to 8 per arm. I know some of you might have to do one side and then the other. If you have equal weights and can do it both arms at the same time, you'll be going with that version. But if not, you'll do one side then the other. So at any rate, it's going to be a 3-1 XO tempo. So let's cover a couple points on the barbell row here. There's a whole bunch of ways we can do them. Today's version, we're going to do an overhand grip if you have a barbell. And also you'll face your grip forward if you have a dumbbell. And we're going to row to about the belly button. So what the height you row to on the body affects it, the grip you use affects it. So key here, soft knee bend. We want to hinge over to a reasonably decent back angle. So one common problem I see in the gym is people will turn them into practically upright rows. They're practically standing upright. We want to get to a good angle and keep that angle through the whole set. And I would be rowing back to my belly button as opposed to rowing straight up, maybe more toward my sternum. So this is going to, you'll feel a little differently. It's going to engage more of your lats doing so. 3-1 XO. So it's going to be up strong, no hold required, but 1, 2, 3. Pause for a moment here. 1, 2, 3. So barbell folks, 5 by 5. Get a warm-up set or two. We're not going to count, and then each set of 5 if you can, as long as you've been able to make the reps, go up in weight each set, and resting 60 to 90 seconds between sides. Folks with dumbbells or kettlebells, also similar, start lighter and build up as long as you have that option. If you have one fixed weight, then go through with that. Another thing on the bent row is remember to pressurize your core, really lock down, even though the weight won't be anywhere near what you might deadlift or clean. When it's leveraged out front like that, it does put a lot of extra stress through the core. So staying very tight. Definitely critical on these. Explode up, 3 down.
She's kind of the same.
This way. So you should feel your lats a little more, like I said, as you row toward the belly button. Dumbbell folks, you can kind of do the same as well. You're rowing back just a little bit, maybe more than you normally would. Looking forward to hitting this one. I haven't barbell rowed in a while, and it's always kind of a fun movement. That looks good, Rachel. Good angle, looks solid, good tempo. Nice, Val. Nice, Sarah. Looks good. Love the dumbbell setup there, or the barbell setup, I mean. Let's see, Jared, maybe a little bit more forward lean angle if you can. Yeah, maybe right about there. Yep. Ooh. Looking forward to trying this one. Barbell row. You don't hooks in the rack to take it out of?
No, because I'm supposed to.
Oh. I just like taking barbell rows out of the rack.
I'm so close to the ground, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change much. And folks, while you're resting between sets of this, you could do a warm-up hang from a pull-up bar if you have one handy. Nothing taxing, just prepping for part B a little bit. Oh, Nicole, it's those plates are 1 inch, so same diameter as all the smaller size dumbbell.
The hole.
The hole is a 1 inch, yeah. So same thing, like
Okay.
a standard one of the PVC pipes that fits on them.
And are they concave or convex or flat?
The plates are a little bit convex.
Okay. Would they like squish each other if you stacked them up, or would they not stack?
They would stack with a little. I mean, I have a dumbbell made up with a pair of them sitting over here. I can show you. Remind me when you get to the end, and I'll bring it over so that you can bring it up so you can see it.
Okay, awesome.
I'll move it. Looking good on these rows. Just keeping that torso angle set. Nicely done.
can do it overhand, but I can't reach underhand.
Oh. Would be a handy thing. Use that heavier yoga block on top. Oh, really? At some point, I imagine I can get two more of the risers would be.
And then you did, so then we can use the long stuff.
Can use the long stuff for more too.
There's everyone out.
What set are you guys all on?
I think I just finished 4.
Yes, like 4 to 5-ish or so. Yeah, looks like, okay.
That was 3 for me, so
Okay. Yeah,
I can make them up.
you can. Yeah. You still have time.
What? Did you know that you can buy Audible books on Alexa? So you can buy 3 Harry Potters.
Yeah, that's, but let's wait until my workout's over to discuss that, okay?
Amazon shopping here.
I have had random Amazon items in my inbox. Now I know how.
Mm.
Did you mean to purchase that Lego set? No, I did not.
Yeah, great work, guys.
Whew, this got a lot harder.
Yeah, as they get heavy, they start to build, right? Yeah. Does anyone have rings or TRX by chance? Karen, yeah, you might. Yeah. Nicole,
Yeah.
you-
Yeah, I hung them up on this pull-up bar thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, they're not necessary, but they're an option for the second piece. All right. Looks like everyone through their 5th set now? Let me grab one more. Okay. Rochelle's gonna grab her last set here. I'll talk about a little bit about the workout here.
Start on my watch.
So we've got a 1-arm lateral push press. So this one is not very tricky. It's sort of the inverse of the twisting waiter press. So where that one, right, we wind in and end up facing to the side when we press. This one, we're actually going to use that side coiling movement to do the push press. So we've been doing lateral swings or these outside cleans where we get into the hip, and we've been doing these RDLs where we come across and load into the hip. It's the same movement, also like a windmill. So the dip is actually, my hip comes back a bit, I rotate in, and then I punch from there and drive it up and face forward. So at the top, I look like a normal push press. At the side, I rotate and drive. Now, what we want to make sure is that we're not using the back to do that. So as you come to that side, we're really locking down, maybe almost feeling like you're doing a bit of a crunch on that side, pulling the ribs down, and that one hip should drive the weight overhead. So that's the lateral push press. so let's go ahead and find something and give a few of those a try before we move on with the other stuff. We have 4 rounds, and this one I would suggest trying to go up. If you have the option to increase weight, try to go up every round. This isn't like a one for time, so you've got time to adjust weights and move through it. It's one we're just moving through with quality work. So the key you want to feel here is loading into that back hip. So the side you rotate toward should feel that glute and hip load and then explode. It has the same elements of like the side swings with the kettlebell. Same single-sided hip. So actually, Rachel, that is the twisting press. This one is the opposite of that. So you rotate to the side and then you press back to forward. So rotate to the other side, rotate outward. And now drive from there. Yeah, yep. So it's the opposite of the twisting waiter press. Let's see. Michelle, think, so there's just like a push press, you want to break at the hips a little bit. So think of, you're on your left side, I think. So your left hip will go back like a windmill a little bit and then drive. Yeah, and then feel that glute contract and push it overhead. Yeah. Yep. So it's not a side bend at all. Great. Okay, if you feel like you've got the hang of that, at least a little bit, we'll refine it as we go. So it'll be 6 per side of that. Resting as needed. And then we're going to revisit the tuck hang, L hang. So just like before, we want to do it from a full stretch hang. So rather than engaging and pulling from here, a little bit everything stretch fully. And this is one we really want to make sure you've mastered the prior stage before you move on. So I'm getting full stretch, biceps are in my ears. Tuck hang is knees up, feet together, parallel or above. If you can do that for 15 seconds, it's a single extend. And at the halfway point, you want to switch. And the full one would be the full L, but only if you can do the halves all the way through. A lot of times I would approach these in the same way. Do like an easy version round 1, try the next version round 2, but don't move to a version if your legs can't lock out or you're not at parallel. So you want to master parallel or above at the prior level before you move on. Rows. Those of you with rings, this is the option we could do. The elbow out row is very different from the standard row. So I'm going to keep my palms facing down, and I'm going to draw my elbows straight back. And I'm trying to be in a position where my elbows are here. So not down here, not here at all. You'll find that it does not take much of an angle at all if you have rings. You're not going to be leaning way back like a traditional ring row. You'll probably be almost mostly standing up, but you should get a strong contraction through the upper back. If you have dumbbells, we'll do the same thing. So we're back to another bent row, but this one's going to be very different than the one we did earlier. Dumbbells will face forward. I'm rowing my elbows straight out to the side and pausing and squeezing and being careful that my elbows don't slowly start dropping down. If you have something you can set your forehead on, like in a gym setting, you use an incline bench and you support yourself lightly with your forehead, that's doable. And then as a last version, if you only have one appropriate dumbbell, put your arm on a chair or whatever you've got. Same thing, out to the side. It's a very different movement, and you're not going to use a ton of weight, even if you're using a dumbbell kind. Final movement, that reverse pass through we did in the warm-up. So you'll get set up, palms forward. Then you're going to come down to the bottom of your squat. If you want to elevate your heels on a slant board or something, that's okay. And then we're doing slow pass-throughs just to overhead with that reverse grip. and trying to narrow it up if you're able to narrow it up. All right. So that is our main part of the work today. So 6 per arm lateral push press, 15-second hangs, 10 of the elbow out rows, and 5 of the pass-throughs. We'll chip away through that.
Reverse grip is palms facing away behind you.
No, it would be when the stick
Palms
starts
facing
behind your back,
forward.
palms will face forward like so.
Okay.
And we start from the back position, so you'd squat down here. Yeah, when you get to that point. Yeah, and ideally probably heels on some elevated, any object, doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it'll help you get in a little better position if your heels are elevated a little bit. You know, load into that back hip, drive the weight up. So as you get the hang of it, this is a pretty strong movement.
How long?
15 seconds. Hangs are 15 seconds. Full stretch. Okay. Make sure those elbows stay straight out to the sides on the rows, folks. It should look like a scarecrow when the elbows draw back. Should feel it kind of right between the shoulder blades, right on the shoulder blade. Five of those guys. Let's see, Michelle, maybe a little more elbows up like this. Yeah. Yep, that nice scarecrow. Kind of check your peripheral vision. That looks good, Val.
Unfortunately, my setup is not strong enough.
Oh, for the
To lean back.
for the rows.
Yeah.
Bummer.
How many of the rows is it? 5?
The rows were 10
10. Okay.
and 5 of the pass-throughs.
Okay.
Remembering to elevate your heels on those pass-through squats if you can.
Did we try to go over our head with the bar?
Right to about an overhead position. I would say definitely stick your heels on something on the next set, though. It'll help you get much more upright. Nice, Rachel. Everyone's stick is long enough, looks like. That's good. Yeah, good hang, Karen. Nice. Ooh. It's get surprisingly hard, don't they? Feel for you. Oh, nice.
That's good.
Yeah. Nice and narrow. Remember, once you get to the pass-throughs, you're trying to narrow the grip, making it challenging.
Can you demonstrate this one more time? I want to see a visual of the rotating press. Press.
Load.
That's all. Okay, it felt like that. So both things are bending.
Yeah, both legs are going to bend. The knee of the opposite side will come forward a little bit. And the hip goes back more on the other side. Load.
So, there.
There. Yeah, and you're gonna have to stack more vertically though, so it'll change the feel of it. It's not a huge movement, but it's a yes, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good sharp right there.
Short drive?
No, the sharp.
Oh, short. Short.
So that hit back a little bit more on that side. Yeah. There you go. It's not shifting back into it quite as much. Yeah. That was it. Nice. Good hip extension. Yeah, mastering this lateral power will unlock a lot more power in the more standard movements like Olympic lifts and jumps as well.
Five rounds?
4 rounds. You're gonna try the 11-pound bar in your last set
For that?
to do that with.
I'm gonna keep my shoulder on you
Ah.
today. Yeah, please. Shoulder articles, no. That's part of the issue.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking you might need to put your feet on something for some with slow the tempo. That would be a way to make it a little more challenging.
More than for the last round.
So you're looking natural now. Oh. Grinder press there. Oh.
Yeah, I might need it, I think.
Just maybe move that over after, because you'll be done with the last set over there. Move the stuff.
Yeah, let's be here. We'll watch here.
Okay. Other way. Yep. Feel a load in that hip underneath the weight. There it goes. There it is.
I'm swinging.
That was it. Yeah, you'll notice these lateral push presses. It's essentially the load and explode of like a shot put movement.
You should quit, that makes sense.
I can see that you're training us to level up on the strict press.
On the what?
On the strict press.
Oh yeah.
Doing
Once,
things that you can do with a heavier one.
yeah.
Ugh.
At some point, we'll test the standard stuff and see where we're at. Real low. I haven't really figured out how to adjust those things out that well myself.
Yeah, these guys are easy, actually.
Well, every time that I've tried, it's been like I only have moments. I'm coaching or teaching, and like, yeah, can't figure it out now.
This hook needs to be a little more out.
Are you sure you can elbow out row from that low?
I don't know.
That would. Yeah, maybe.
That's a virtue. I think so. No, I don't think so. Let's try it. It's like this.
I feel like doing it from there would be akin to a bench press. It's still a little elbow high.
Where do you want
Straight to the side, so it's Peter Romboy.
Straight to the side. Got it. Like that?
Yeah, okay. Need a rhomboid plank from yesterday or last week, huh?
Very good.
I did, yeah. Everyone at least doubled my time, no matter what their setup was. It's a definite weakness.
I better have a 300-pound bench press now.
I was like, it would take about like the training to equivalent to.
The first person
The first rep or two you get, and then the elbows drift down so you can pull in the delts and things instead
grip.
of the rhomboids.
It's like this part starts to light up. So maybe I'll do sets of 2 or lower this.
Just look at it. All right, guys, must be on chipping away through the 4th round here, I think, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
The wrong way still, Oscar.
Mhm.
20 years later.
Rhomboids of.
You're wrong. So better. Remember that first time you were like, can you do this? And I was like, this, and you were like, this.
Oh, yeah,
And you were like, this.
yeah. I couldn't even get the PVC pipe there. Yeah. Well, this is highlighted. Now I can fix them. Bring up my rhomboid plank. So today, a bit of a skill strength day. Tomorrow, more just conditioning, easy work, easy hard work.
Okay, I'm gonna try that again. All right, judge it.
Okay, let's see. It's pretty good to get tiny to high. That was great. Good. Yeah, part of just the feel of getting to the right spot there.
And you got 5 is good for
And the last one, yeah, started to drop just a little.
you. But it's okay.
Right. Looks like everybody wrapped up right about the same time. So last part, well, oops, or Jared's finishing up there. We're gonna do the kettlebell or dumbbell outside swing, which we've done that a few times. And then all we're gonna do is turn it into a clean. So the outside swing is this one. This is the one that uses that same element of hip shifting that we just used in the push press, right? Now we're here and we're going to open and explode to a side swing. So that's the first thing we want to do is warm up or refresh our memory on the side swing. So it's underhand grip, load the hip, explode to the side. Let's grab a few of those. He's not on this right now.
To reach out to me.
Okay, so yeah, looks pretty good on these. Nice. And you'll kind of rotate to face the weight as it swings to the side. Not massively, but yeah, that's good. Awesome. All right, so the lateral clean, as you can imagine, is the same movement. And now I'm gonna load, swing, and bring it in and catch it. Now, when I catch it, I'm actually facing to the side. And when I want to go into the next rep, I need to push the bell out to the side. I want to drop it down or you won't have any side momentum. So I'm swinging it up, catching, pushing it up, swinging it back to the start. So one tip on these, so just like, right, when we do our regular ones, here's a one arm swing. If I do a one arm clean, the pull is much, much lower. If I try to clean it from here, it's gonna come slamming down on me. Same thing is true of these side ones. You'll be pulling less high to clean it than I did to swing it. Otherwise it'll come slamming down on you. Same deal. So give that a try. And then just remember, the key is as you project it out to the side so it goes into the correct arc for your next swing.
Do you want us to start from the ground each time or just swing back and forth?
Yeah, ideally set it to the ground each time on these. It can be done the other way, but for our learning purposes, the form stays tighter if we can set the bell down between each rep, plus good starting strength. Yeah, I think everybody's got that. I find this a pretty fun movement. And if you're thinking ahead, you can see that your catch of the clean as you rotate to the side is the perfect position. You could tie it together with the lateral push press we did earlier. We're not going to do that today, but that is a really common sequencing of this movement. And then the other movement we're going to do is a half kneeling dumbbell crossbody press. So this is not going to be a very heavily weighted movement. Strict press, now we're going to be down in the half kneeling position. So knee straight under my hip, my dumbbell or kettlebell here. We want to really lock everything down here. And for these, I'm going to suggest using your free hand to monitor your ribs. So it's a strict press, except we're going to shrug up and actually try to bring the dumbbell over our head toward the opposite shoulder a little bit each rep. So what we want to do here is make sure that the ribs aren't lifting up. So it's all coming by opening the abs in the front. And instead it's coming from actually side bending through the back. So now the heavier you are, the heavier weight you're using, the less you're going to be able to bend. Lighter weight, you'll be able to bend more. The movement we're trying to get isn't huge there. You're just getting that additional reach and mobilization of the shoulder and the side. And this will carry all the way down into opening up your hip flexors and the side of the hips. So give that a try.
Should we choose a weight based on what we can press or what we can lean?
I would pick something that probably should be a relatively easy press to get the lean. Because if you're really challenging your strict press weight, you're not getting much side lean. But at the same time, don't go so light that you're folding way over either and it's an insignificant press.
Should the hip stay still with the lean so that you can keep the hip out or keep it stacked?
So the hip can kick out to the side. In fact, you probably would like it to kick a little out to the side, but not shoot back. Can you do the two versions really quick? So shifting to the side, that would be wrong. See, she shifted her hip back. Now, yeah, so we wouldn't want to do that. What we would do is side. So her hip is coming toward the camera in that case. That's cool. That's mobilizing that chain. So if that makes sense.
Where did you say that bend was originating from?
Oh, the side bend?
Yeah.
So think of reaching up with the shoulder blade like this and then over as you do, and it's going to come from side and down through the hip. What we don't want to do is, if I accomplish it by arching my back, right, I'm basically lifting up and I'm opening the front of the rib cage. We're trying to keep this tucked down so the bend actually comes from the lower part of the spine and the hip.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 rounds through that, five each side of each for 3 rounds. And this is, again, skill work. It's not a barn burner today. That would be tomorrow. And those of you with multiple weight options can change up your load through the rounds if you feel you can.
Are we doing 5 side swings, then 5 side cleans, or just the cleans?
Oh, just the side cleans. Yeah, we did the swings earlier just as kind of a refresher of the movement. So just 2 movements here. These cross body presses will make the whole outside of the body. Shoulder girdle really over time really make the spine and shoulders feel pretty phenomenal.
The number, Scott, 5 each side?
5 each side of both, yeah. Side bends really reach with that shoulder blade as you go over. Jared, it's a good thing we side bend this one or you wouldn't have the clearance. Three rounds, 5% each.
Felt like there was some rotation on this side.
On the last one, I can watch it on the next one.
These were here on my back. My 0 back.
Yeah, these are awesome. I love those lateral cleans. Yeah. Is this side or the other side?
I think I was just.
Extension is really good. Great. Great. So everything open like this.
You didn't know me in my 20s. That's not true.
Well, it did. It didn't open when I needed it.
In my memories, it was better then. That's That's not true.
We probably have a picture somewhere.
You want proof?
Thanks, guys. The side bends are opening up. Looks good. Yeah. And then we have a short little piece once you finish. So if you have a light dumbbell handy, I'm gonna do one last little thing. I didn't write it in initially. Was it? Oh, free probably can. I'd like to demonstrate with this because it's visibly.
Appealing.
Well, yeah, it's just it's hard to see. Side press. Who's that? Cat saying hi.
That's Jack.
I don't think he's made an appearance before.
I know, he's the one that's out here causing trouble all the time.
Yesterday, there was a point where it looked like someone was out in the woods or the bushes. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I realized it was one of your cats was right in front of the camera and all I could see is fur.
That was probably him. He's the kitten, so he drives everybody crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna 2 minutes. Our finishing thing is you'll need a lighter dumbbell. We're gonna lay on the floor to do this. I'll run a timer. We're gonna do external rotations on one side for a minute and then on the other side for a minute. So the setup, it's that side lying out to the side one. So I will set up stacked sideways with my arms straight up to the side, shoulder back, and then I'm just bringing my forearm to the floor and then back up to vertical. And I would do like a controlled, maybe 3 down, 2 up type tempo. And if you can move the full 1 minute, great. If not, take brief pauses and then get right back into it and get going. And then we'll flip sides to the other side and do a minute on the other side. If your weight's on the heavier side, of course, you'll get a few fewer reps. If it's light, you'll just move the whole time. We'll give that rotator cuff a little love. Okay, once I see everybody in position, we'll get started. And okay, looks like everyone's set. Let's go. First arm, 1 minute. Roughly 3 down, 2 up. And you want to feel tension on the working muscles all the way through. This is one that's feeling the movement correctly is as important as anything. It should be muscles on the back of the shoulder blade you feel doing the work as you start to get tired. Some of you might get a bit of a stretch at the bottom end of it, others not. 20 seconds to go. Feel a little good? Does it feel about right?
That's a little bit.
Might do, yeah.
I just feel it's mostly.
You could get a tricepy feeling in it potentially.
What is that?
Oh, your lat's trying to take over.
Yeah, it's a button.
3, 2, 1. All right, flip over, hit the other side. Give you a few seconds here. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute on the other side.
Actually, makes sense.
Yeah, subscaps can.
That's what it was.
Yeah, sounds stretch, of course. Yeah. Yeah. The lat will try to dominate these as much as possible. And search for that feeling, muscles on the shoulder blade doing some work. You might feel something stretching. 20 seconds to get. Pups awake.
Oh,
We've had requests for more brownie vision.
oh, she's so cute. You love her so much.
3, 2, 1. All right, that is it. Nicely done. Grab her really quick.
You grab